Welcome, everyone. It's Friday. Oh my goodness, we made it and it snowed. Uh, but it's February, so that is anticipated. So, today we're talking about fact or truth. A fact, principles are facts. Well, what makes a fact? A fact is something that happens. A fact is something that happens. Truth is what you experience. It happened to you. That's what makes it true, because it happened to you. Facts, on the other hand, are things like plant corn, get corn. That is a fact. It does not depend upon anybody even watching it, anybody even experiencing it. It is just a fact. Day and night, facts. High tide, low tide, facts. Habits. Well, I should say the creation of the habit, fact. Truth is what you experience, your account of your experience. That's what truth is. Oh, this happened to me, that is truth. Not to be confused with fact. And for some reason, we think those two things are the same. The reason it is important to not get them confused is so that you can prevent yourself from being convinced about something. The truth is what you experience. Like if you've done childbirth, I can tell you about my experience, right? I can tell you about my experience. 6 hours of labor, hard, fast, furious, no pain meds. Hey, that's my truth. That's my truth. Labor and delivery is fact, though. But the experience that I had is mine, thereby making it true for me. You see? So sometimes when we're out there in the world, we hear something. We hear something. Rumor has it, ooh, rumor has it. We hear something, a rumor. And sometimes we take it as fact. But it isn't fact. It is just truth. Somebody had an experience somewhere, right? Or did they? We can lie. But you see a fact? Ow. You can't lie. Facts cannot lie. And I only talk about the principles because they're the only facts that this whole universe is built on. One, you know who you are. The principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. The principle of correspondence. As within, so without, as above, so below. Meaning what? You reap what you've sown. Yeah? Reaping and sowing is fact. Vibration. Everything is moving. Nothing stands still. It's either moving real fast, you can't see it, or it's moving real slow and you can see it. Mm? Polarity. The stage from whatever it is to the becoming of it. So from seed to fruit. Yes? Polarity. Because some people think polarity means duality. There is no duality. There's no duality. What do you mean there's no duality, Angela? The mango seed only becomes the mango fruit. Is that two things or one? Just one. One thing becoming what it only can become. That is fact. From polarity, we have rhythm, ebb and flow, in and out, back and forth, yeah? In a pattern, a rhythm, if you will. Rhythm is a dancer, it's the source of magic. People feel it everywhere. You know, rhythm, a pattern. You see, sometimes we think rhythm as in music, but that is only one way that rhythm is expressed. But there is rhythm. Rhythm is fact. And then we have cause and effect. Scientists say for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Cause and effect. What? Every cause has its effect. Equal, right? But then opposite. Every effect has its cause. Not opposite as in different, opposite as in just direction. Meaning you can use heat to create electricity, but you can use electricity to create heat because they're the same. They are the same, which is fact. And from cause and effect, we get gender. Gender as in generation, as in masculine and feminine, not male and female. To generate an idea, to come up with it. You go, I wonder what it would be like to. That is masculine because it's just an idea. It's still unseen by the world, still uninteracted with physically. So it is masculine. But you've got to give it body now. You got to embody it. Meaning you got to get it out from the invisible and make it visible, which now is feminine. Feminine equals form. So when you are looking out into the world, okay, and you want to change your life, you see, we look at the truth. Well, I went through this. This person did this to me. This is how the system is built. True. Yes, it is true. But you know what? The fact is, you don't have to remain that way. Why? Because you can look at your situation and remember that the universe is mental. And when you realize that the universe is mental, not insane, no, the universe is a mental creation. Do we grasp what that means? It means if I can generate within you an experience that we call truth and you run with it, the fact is you will keep recreating it in your own life. So you see, truth is based upon the observer, the person who experiences it. So that's why when we experience something and we hold on to that truth, the fact comes along and says, oh, so you hold on to that, you want that. Let me give you some more of it. That's the fact. So the fact is we prolong things in our lives that we deem to be true. That is why they keep expressing themselves in our lives truthfully over and over and over again because of the fact of correspondence. As within, so without. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to believe me because facts do not require beliefs. Facts don't require you to believe in them. They don't. They happen. They happen. Facts. They just happen. So if you can recognize the difference between the fact and the truth, you will free yourself from Much unnecessary torment. Remember what truth is. Oh my God. You will never guess what this heifer did to me. Like, totally, man. And you begin to tell your story. You begin to tell the truth of what happened to you. And the fact comes along and says, you keep generating, principle of gender, you keep generating the same idea over and over and over. And because you keep generating this idea, well, then we will take it from invisible and we will make it visible. That's the fact of generation. We move from the inside out, is how we move. Seeds, life comes out of the seed because there's life in the seed. Generate, as within, so without. Fact. Fact. Even though they can manipulate the weather, they've been doing it since the 50s. They can only manipulate what is already there. It is already there as its own factual process. This is why we can see them. Long before any of us got here, there was winter, spring, summer, fall. Pattern, rhythm. And that rhythm is what causes us to live the way we do. We're outside and we're frolicking in the spring and summer. And harvesting in the fall. But you see, winter, we learn to cope with winter. We go skiing and well, not all of us go skiing and snowboarding because I don't know that you'll catch me on that hill, but that's for another day. And that's the truth. That is not an experience I think I want to have. Say I'm coming down this hill at breakneck speed and I'm cold. Girl, I don't like being cold. I love being warm. Truth. But the fact is, cold and heat exist. They do not rely upon you or I to be. Cold and heat exist. My mother will tell me, "Oh, girl, this wind is blowing and it's cold. 24 degrees and she's saying it is cold." That is true to her. How she perceives it is true because she is the one perceiving it. But the fact is, cold and hot already exist. They already are. They're just facts. So when you are going through something, remember, when you are recalling what happened to you, it is true. It was your experience. Whether that experience happened or you make it up, it's true to you. It is true to you. But the fact is, it is mental. And the more we replay the truth over and over, remember, truth is your experience. Whether it is, doesn't matter. You keep telling it to yourself over and over again. We have this little thing called the principle of correspondence that once it gets in you, that is all that can come out. So it is very important to be able to distinguish between the truth and fact. The fact is, when you are convinced that something is true, it is what you will experience. And the scary thing is, it will look like fact. It'll look like fact. You can't tell me this isn't real. You can't tell me I didn't live it. True. But now you've based your life on the truth that you want to call fact, when in actuality, it is just simply something that happened. But the more we hold the truth, what we perceive as have happened, I saw that with my own eyes. I saw it. I saw it. I know what I saw. You can't call me a liar. I know what I saw. Yes. What you saw it. I can't tell you you didn't. It's the truth. You saw it. You experienced it. Fact, though, fact does not rely on an experience. Fact is. And so, because we allow ourselves to be pulled in the direction of the experience, we live by way of our experiences. Yes, we do. But the experience is only just truth, meaning that, oh, I experienced that. But the fact is, you can change. You do not have to remain as you presently are. What we presently are is true because it's our experience. But the fact of the matter is, if you apply the principles, cold, hard fact, that the universe is a mental creation. And so what I hold to be true, my experience tells me this happened. I touched it and it was hot. So now every time I see this thing, I don't touch it because it's hot. But is it? Is it hot? So we limit ourselves with truth. Mm. Oh, I know. I know. Seems far fetched. Because the truth can be manipulated. Fact cannot. Let me say that to you again because I told you they can manipulate the weather. But what they can't do is make it there. The process of it happening, they can't alter. Winter, spring, summer, fall, a rhythm, a pattern is always going to be there. Whether we are on Venus, Pluto, and my favorite planet, Uranus or Uranus. I'm such a big kid. Whether we're there or not, rhythm still applies. Everything ebbs and flows. The stock market ebbs and flows. It was created by man, the stock market. But if you watch, you will see the fact underlying it. Ebb and flow. Even if they crash the market, they still have to bring it back. Ebb and flow. Ebb and flow is not man-made. Ebb and flow is observed. We can see it in the tide. We can see it in the time of day. And we can also see it with daylight. What do I mean by that? In the winter, the days are shorter. September 21st, I think it's the shortest day. Is it the shortest day? And June 21st is the longest? Winter, summer solstice, right? So that rhythm, when we go into September and the days get shorter, naturally, you get less light. Naturally. Okay? But come December 21st, the days get longer. So is it necessary to move the clock forwards and backwards? No, because time, time is truth, rhythm is fact. They can develop time because the principle of rhythm exists. It's the foundation, it's the fact of the matter. So if you can look at your life and recognize that you are governed by fact and not truth, this is why the eyes are easily deceived. Listen, you get around a phenomenal magician, he will make you see shit that isn't there. And you will say, but I saw it with my own, it was the truth, I saw it. The fact is, you were convinced. Something was put in. As within, so without. So, at any given time, at any point throughout the day, that you find yourself struggling, ask yourself, is this a fact? Is this a fact? Or is it just true? If it is, you know what you can do with facts. You know what you can do with facts. You can use facts to bring about your change. You can use facts to bring about your change. Which fact are you going to use? You say to yourself, look, man, I've been doing this thing the same way every time. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've been doing it for so long, it's become the truth to me. But that truth is not the fact. The fact is, it's just the rhythm that I've been doing this whole time. So now the other fact to free yourself would be, I can learn a new rhythm. That is fact. You can learn a new rhythm. It's fact. So are you stuck? Feeling like you're stuck because it's your perception, right? What you think is true. Well, I don't know if I can do this. I've tried so many times, and man, that's the truth, man. I've been trying so hard. Yes, it's true. But the fact is, it is a rhythm, it is a pattern. And if you don't like one rhythm or pattern, make a new one so that becomes the truth for you. See, there's a difference between when you comprehend truth. Yeah? There's a difference when you comprehend truth, when you recognize that truth is influenced by the observer, by the one living the experience. You now become deliberate to form your own truth based upon what? Fact. Because right now, the truths that we live are just based on our experiences. That's why when we say, "Cha, ain't no good men in the world," oh my God, she is a gold digger. See that? It may be true for them because they've experienced a certain type of woman or a certain type of man. So it's true for them because they've had that experience. But the fact is, as within, so without. That truth is influenced by what they say they are. So when you're looking at your life, this is why Neville Goddard says to deny the senses. Right? But people misinterpret that. When he says to deny the senses, he's saying to you, yes, you're going to have these experiences, but they are not fact. The fact is, you are the operant power. You are the one to say, I am calling those things that are not as though they were and they become. Well, how can you do that? You can do that because when you say I am, you are clearly stating and defining who you are. Not in the flesh. You just happen to be in flesh. But the acknowledgement of what you are, the operant power, meaning what you see with the eyes, you didn't put it there with your fact. You experienced it. So the doctor says, well, unfortunately, or the banker says, you don't qualify. Sure, your pay stubs will show that you might not qualify, and that's the truth because it's there in the numbers. But is it fact, though? That's just what they say. But if you know that you are the operant power, well, how do you know you're the operant power? As within, so without. What you say you are, you have to do and be. So if you say, yeah, you're right, I totally don't qualify. Now you live your life from a place, from a truth of not qualifying. Because the numbers don't lie. The numbers clearly show I don't qualify. So the numbers say you don't qualify. This is why when Jesus asked the disciples, well, the world says I'm this. Who do you say I am? You notice how he said the world says, which is true. That's their experience. They got healed by Jesus. So they say, oh, that's Jesus. But then he asked a very important question. Who do you say that I am? Why? Why does it matter who you say you are? Because the fact is, as within, so without. What you say you are, you have to do, thereby creating your truth. So it is either you are going to be manipulated into believing somebody else's truth, or you know how to create truth. Oh, how does one create truth? By knowing that you generate an idea of how you want things to go. And you also know that once you make that choice, every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. You don't have to kick in the door within the fofo. All you heard was, Papa, don't hit me no more. You don't have to force a thing to happen. You know why you don't have to force it to happen? Because you know every cause has its effect and every effect its cause. So you become the cause, thereby bringing about the effect. So you see, the fact is, you can mold and shape yourself into anything, thereby making it true. But what we do is we see something, we hear something, and we run with it, calling it true, not knowing whose truth it is. So to deny the senses simply means, yes, that experience has happened to me, or that experience is happening to me, but it is not fact. It is just an experience. But the fact is, I can become the cause and bring about the effect of my change. That is not truth. That is fact. As within, so without. Whether or not you plant the watermelon seed is irrelevant. A watermelon seed is only going to bear watermelon fruit. Done. Fact. You reap what you sow. And the way when you watch that fact unfold on earth, You can use the principle of correspondence as above, so below. Below is earth, above is in your mind's eye, your awareness. You can bring it up to that level and say, wait, so what seed do I presently hold within myself? If I hold the seed of peace, well, then I can only experience peace on the outside. If I hold the seed of hatred, I can only experience hatred. If I hold the seed of love, love will keep us together. If I have love in my bosom, what can I expect? What is the fact that's going to happen? Love in, love out. So that someone who meets you can go, and oh my God, have you ever met them? They are like totally so loving. Do you know how they can say that? Because it's what you have within. This is why when someone changes, right, you might still remember them as what they used to be, which is your truth, because you had the experience with them. But they've gone and done all of these changes in their life and they're living different. You still hold them to what they used to be because that's your truth. But the fact is, as within, so without. They became something else. And we have this problem with holding people. And we do it to ourselves. We hold ourselves to the truth of our failure. Oh, I didn't accomplish that. We hold ourselves to that. And thus, because we believe that we failed, we can't change because we hold on to that truth and we say, ugh, so true. I tried so many times. But the fact is, if you apply the principle of rhythm, what is the principle of rhythm? There's an ebb and there's a flow. There is a pattern to the way things go. Who's a poet? Didn't know it. Ow. Anyway, if you recognize that you have a pattern, everything is a pattern. Everything is a pattern. So when AI writes you that song, they're pulling from every single pattern that they've ever seen listed on the internet. But you know what? Let me not go there. Soft spot. Soft spot. You and I have the ability to change our lives by simply, as Neville Goddard says, by denying our senses. It does not mean that you pretend it didn't happen, because that's the fastest way to get locked up for being nuts. You don't pretend it didn't happen. You recognize that it did, and then you recognize the underlying fact of it. What seed mentally have I been churning over and over and over in my head? You don't know? Look at your life and you will see. Because they'll know you by your fruit. That's what scripture says. Well, how will you know something by its fruit? You pick peaches. Sweet Georgia peach. You pick peaches. That was not an apple tree that was planted. You reap what you've sown. So you cannot walk around holding on to truth of what you've experienced and expect to change. You can't. So at one point in your life, you're going to have to take the bull by the proverbial horns and say, step one, I see what I've been doing for this couple of decades. I don't want to do it anymore. I want to change my life. And you acknowledge what you're doing. Just for the love of God and all things, just acknowledge it. You don't judge it. I've been doing this for so long. I'm such a loser. See, that's judgment. Blind your eye, deafen your ear. Don't. Just see it for what it is, a habit that you've been doing. And recognize that habits simply need a change. If you don't want to do one habit, replace it with another. So you quit smoking. What are you doing instead? You see, we always replace it with something. So you can't say, I want to stop doing this and not define what you want to do instead. So step one, acknowledge who and what you are and what you're doing. What you're looking at your life, so that's true because you're doing it. Why are you acknowledging it? So that you can find the fact underneath it. So if you say, I don't want to do that, now Neville says, well, what do you want to do instead? He says to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. So here now, you're going to deny, well, I've been doing this forever. Yes, I have been. But the fact is, I am generating. Remember, the principle of gender is to generate the idea, plant the seed, masculine. And when you plant that seed, right, you begin to see in your mind's eye who you want to become. Now, who you want to become has a mental attitude. You know, somebody said to me, I like Harry Styles. I like what he does, or I like his confidence. The moment you can describe, oh, they're so confident, they're so cool. That's a mental attitude. It's a mental attitude. So what you want to become has a mental attitude. And so that is what you practice. Because at first, it is invisible to the naked eye when you start doing it. When you start doing it, nobody knows what you're doing. They can't see what you're doing. But if you persist, do you know what happens when you persist in doing a particular mental attitude? Neurologically speaking, in your brain, remember I told you, there's a teeny tiny little Michelangelo with a chisel and a mallet. And every time you rehearse who you are becoming, he's tapping away and shaping that neurological pathway. Fact. He's setting down within what you will live by on the outside. That's what's happening in your world every time you do it. He's setting down that neurological pathway, which is fact. As within, so without. The principle of correspondence tells us, as within, so without. In order to get something within the psyche, you have to set down a neurological pathway. Fact. You cannot do what you haven't learned. Once you learn it, groove is in the brain, right? The groove has been set down. So you live by it now, and that becomes the truth. But whose truth is it? You did it. You set it down deliberately. You did not go out there in them their streets and say, oh my God, you see what's happening in the world? Oh, did you see this? Blah, 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 blah. You're looking at the world's truth. But as you and I know, truth is based on perception. Fact does not require perception. What's that mean? Truth is based upon what you think is there. That's what truth is based on. What you think is there and what you think happened. What you saw with your eyes. What you heard with your ears. What you touched with your hands. That's truth. But you and I know, if said often enough, anything can become true. But you see, fact, it is what it is. You reap what you sow. Fact. There's a rhythm to everything. Everything. You ever see two people who really know each other and they're walking? They walk in tandem, don't they? They walk and they're in sync with one another because they have the habit of the relationship. They know one another. So they walk in that same rhythm when they go. My son pointed it out to me because we always walk arm in arm when we go somewhere. He goes, Ma, every time we walk with the same step, the same cadence. And I'm like, because we know each other, child. So that's why we have that rhythm. You cannot escape rhythm. One does not escape facts. We recognize them, though, and we learn to apply the facts to our lives so that we are not manipulated by perceived truth. Perceived just means how you interpreted the information. That's all it means. If you don't get this shot, you can't go to work. True, isn't it? But look at it. What's the fact underneath it? What's the fact? The fact is somebody is toying with your mentalism. What do you mean? Trying to get something in you. I was going to be a little crass. Trying to get something in you. Why? Because as within, so without. We've heard ad nauseum, you tell a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. Do you know why it becomes the truth? Because now it is in you. And because it is in you, it has to come out of you. I trust today that you will comprehend what I'm saying to you. Always examine the facts. The facts. What are the facts? Mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. That's why when you hear scripture tell you, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. It's not flesh and blood that you're wrestling with. Why do you think so much money and time and effort goes into making you think a particular way or feel a particular way? Because the fact is, as within, so without. So when you hear rumors, when you hear rumors, what do you do with that rumor? Do you run with it and hold it to be true? Because when you run with a rumor and you hold it to be true, especially the way that rumor makes you feel, when that rumor makes you feel, oh yes. Let me put it to you this way. Hopefully it's not triggering, but then you have to remember the truth and fact, yes? Do you remember your first love? Do you know why you remember your first love? Because of the way it felt mentally. There has been an impression left upon you, good, bad, or indifferent. There has been an impression left upon you. And based upon that impression, now the fact is you express. Based upon that impression, you choose. You choose based upon that. As within, so without. So you see, the universe is mental. It is a mental creation. So every time you come into contact with a truth, Who's telling you the truth? That sounds weird, like when you say, well, who's telling you the truth versus who's telling you lies? No, 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 not truth and lies. Who's telling you the present truth? Who's telling you something over and over and over again that they want you to believe? Well, some could argue that that's what I do every day. That I'm telling you these principles every day so that you'll begin to see them in your own life. But not because I put it there. I have no control over mentalism existing, correspondence existing. I gotta watch the time because I gotta brush that call off. It's -20. Oh, Lord of mercy. Well, the good news is it's warmer today than it was yesterday and the day before. It was -29. Today it's -20. Yay. Warmer. Perspective. Yes? Truth. It's warmer, is it not? It is warmer. That's the truth. The truth. But the fact is, it is winter. That's the fact. It is winter. So whether or not it's -20, whether or not it's -40, oh yeah, we do get there. We didn't get there. No, we were there earlier this year. But even though it's minus whatever it is, yes, that may be the truth. But the fact is, it is winter. That's the fact. So, when you and I go out in the world, pay attention to the facts. Pay attention to the facts. What are the facts? Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. Those are the facts. And you will begin to realize that every time you turn around, every time you turn around, somebody is telling you a truth. Did you hear about this? Oh my God, look at the stock market. Oh my God, look at the job market. Somebody's telling you a truth. But you see, you know the fact. You know that as you contemplate, you become. So if you say, ain't nobody who loves me better, right? Nobody loves you better than you. Oh, you thought she was talking about somebody else? Look in the mirror. It's not love as in, oh, my little Pookie. I'm not talking about that love. I'm talking about the knowing of the facts. Because it is knowing and applying the facts that is unconditional love. Because scripture would tell us it rains on the wicked as well as the righteous. That's what unconditional love is. So that you could have the Bill Gates of the world and they use the same principles as you. The principles don't discriminate. They don't discriminate. But you should learn them. Because if you don't learn them, you will now be subject to a truth. And that could be anybody's truth, thereby limiting you. Oh, but nobody's ever done that before. So why do I think I can do it? Oh, but I'm just little old me. I can't do that. Okay. Listen, I know little. I'm 4'11". I know little. Okay. Everybody always tells me, I can put you in my pocket. I'm like, try it. But I digress. I know little. But you see, the fact is, if I believe myself to be little, I will walk this world as little in mind. I'm only little in stature, not in who I perceive myself to be. So who I perceive myself to be is who I have to be. That is fact. So take your time and mull over the facts instead of falling prey to the truth. Oh, but you don't know what I've experienced, Angela. No, I don't know, but I know it's true because you lived it. It's true. But you are not limited by what is true. Oh, but the doctor said, Angela, you are not limited by what is true. Oh, but the bank, you are not limited by what is true. You have the facts. And the fact is how you see yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you speak about yourself, how you get out of bed in the morning. That fact right there will dictate who you are in the world. So make it your business to study the facts so that you look for the facts. And when you look for the facts and you see the facts, you will not see perceived truth. But there's a disease. There's a more severe disease going on. There is? Whose truth is that? Yours? Or somebody trying to get it into you so that it becomes yours? You are the operant power. If you do not get the facts into your life, you will always fall prey to somebody who's using the facts. But, I can't preach at you so early in the morning. Too late. I trust that you comprehend what I'm saying to you today. I trust that that is clear to you. You're not victim to truth. Truth is just an experience. And that experience is there because of a fact. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation, and gender. Facts. One of those things, all of them, because it's just one. One of those things, though, that you've been doing over and over again, you can't see it, but you're doing it because we can't not do it. We live by fact, not truth. When scripture says you live by faith and not by sight, that's what it means. Faith is to know the facts. Sight is just to go, yeah, but look at that right there. You run that stop sign. The stop sign is true. But the fact of the matter is cause and effect. Don't think we can escape the principles. Would you want to? They set you free. But that's another day. Who's here with us? Who is in the house with us? Fan base, who's with us today? I gotta scroll. Let me get up to the screen. Who's here? Ray Ray is in the house. Miss McQueen is in the house. Burnt are those cookies. Zarian, hello, darling. Or should I say, how are you doing? David, hello, sweetie. Big Mike is in the house. I see you here on Fanbase, y'all. I see you. And then, well, Solo Breezy was in Twitter this morning, and Twitter is always for the replay gang. You know how they rule over there. And let's see. Oh, Melly Mel is the first one in the chat today. Hey, girl. You beat K Frame. K Frame. I know you're here, though. What about Mr. Stafford Jr.? Hello, darling. Are you here? The better man, Jeff, ray of sunshine. Liza, darling. Listen, I trust. If you have questions, positivelyangela.com. Drop me a note. Drop me a note. Let me know what's going on. Ask your questions. I just state the facts. 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 Oh, hello, Solo Breezy. How you doing, baby? Say hello to your granny for me. I trust that she is well. Listen, Go forth today and look for the facts. What's the cause? Look at the effect. Look at the effect. Don't judge it. Look at the cause and the effect. Did you generate an idea today? Did you come up with an idea and mentally impregnated yourself so that now you have to embody that? Oh, yes. That's the principle of gender. You generated the idea, masculine, and mentally impregnated yourself with it. Thus, you gave it form, feminine. Oh, yes, darling. Oh, you had a coincidence. Oh my God, what a coincidence. I was just thinking to call you, girl. That is the principle of correspondence. You are seeing the embodiment of the thought you just had. As within, so without. It is correspondence, my friends, not coincidence. But if you look at the root, meaning as within, so without. Because you're moving, keep on moving, keep on grooving. Because we're moving, baby. We can't stop. And we won't stop. You know what? I'm going to stop. Anyway, listen. And it's not a duality in the world. There is a polarity that tells you there's two poles for one thing to swing between. Hello? The mango seed becomes the mango fruit. It is moving from seed to fruit, and it has to swing because it creates a spectrum in between. You get the sapling, you get the sprout, oh, you get the tree, you get the blossom. Oh, look, you get the sweet, succulent mango fruit. Polarity, moving from where you are to what you are becoming. Every cause has its effect. But you see, every effect, oh, it has its cause. Meaning you can do it in reverse. Yes, you can. Heat, electricity, electricity, heat. Oh, yes, darling. But we didn't forget rhythm, you know? We didn't forget rhythm. It's not just a dancer. Rhythm is the way everything flows. This is why Warren Buffett can tell you that when the market is low, buy it. Because he can recognize the ebb and the flow. They tell you buy low, sell high. Ebb and flow. That is rhythm. That is pattern. And if you watch it long enough, you will see the pattern emerge. And the reason why we don't see the pattern is because we have the attention span of a squirrel. Oh, these nuts. And finally, gender. Generate the idea and then embody it. You do not rely upon a perceived truth. Oh, he's no good. She's no good. That's just because that person experienced something with that person. You got to change you, and everything around you will change. Oh. Anywho, you know I love you. Let me pop into the chat. Oh, reconstructed peach cobbler. Well, hello, sugar. And you know that sounds divine. Are we gonna put some ice cream on that? Some creamy vanilla ice cream. You know, let me stop. It's a little cold for ice cream, but you know how it is. Anyhow, I love you, and I shall see you on Monday, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, fan base. Ow. Yes, I'll see you. 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, if you got questions, positivelyangela.com. That's what we do around here. Just send me a note. Let me know how you're doing. We'll talk some facts, baby. We'll talk some facts. Get it in you so you can get it out. Ow. Oh, you naughty girl. Listen, go forth and enjoy the beautiful day because it is beautiful. Oh, yes, it is. I got a half an hour to get myself ready, get the chickens ready, get the car started. I should have 6 more arms. But instead I got these 2. Anyhow, I love you. And thank you for the love, y'all. Thank you for the love. Yeah. Um oh, Shiito? Is that how I say it? I don't know. Welcome to the space though. And we were just leaving though, darling, but we're here every day, Monday through Friday. You can catch us. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta feed a little bit. Lady's still broody. I forget how many days this is, but I do have it on the calendar. Remember, we're getting up to 21 days. Are we at 13 days now where she's broody? So that means we have 1 more week and she'll stop being broody and she'll lay eggs again. She will. She's got the cutest little eggshell colored, that like off-white color eggs. I went to touch her yesterday. She's in the corner. If you understand how small Lady is, you'll know why it's so funny, because she's really, really small. But when you get near her, she'll puff up her feathers, right? So that she looks bigger. I'm like, girl, you don't scare me. And I pet her, right? Because that's my baby girl. Anywho, she's in the corner talking about, I'm broody, okay? Totally broody. That's what she's doing. And a little bit needs Jesus. A little bit is standing, they're face to face, okay? A little bit and Lady are face to face in the corner. Face to face, because remember, he's got that leg, right? With the gangster lean. So they're face to face. And he's looking at her, she's looking at him, and then they start to talk to each other. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave because I don't know what the 2 of you were saying. You're probably just plotting my demise. These 2, I digress. But that's what they're doing. They're talking in the corner to each other. I'm like, what are you whispering to each other? And you gotta say sweet nothings. Ow. And he still hasn't done it yet. Because I don't know that he can. Doesn't matter how I try. You know, don't force it, Angela. Cause and effect, right? Cause and effect. He'll figure it out. He's a rooster. That's what they do. Bum leg or not, he gonna get him some. You know what? Don't let me corrupt y'all and give you these images so early in the morning. Oh, Lord. A lot of mercy. Mr. Queen, that's for you. That's for you, Mr. Queen. Um, but yeah, that's my Chicken Chronicles. And you know, he's so smart. He really is smart. He will hop around. I will give him, I'll put that food dish in front of him, and he will look at me and he will start to hop around that food dish. And we play Ring Around the Rosie, girl. Because he's trying to get at me. He's trying to get at me. But that's okay. I'll snatch him up any minute now, which he doesn't like. But I still do it because that's my Pookie. And he needs kisses and hugs too. So that's what we do around here. And I'm not the only one with a house chicken. I'm not. Honest. This other lady, I saw her on Instagram. She has a white rooster. And he just lives indoors, and she's got, who sent for you, sir? Who sent for you? You see how impatient he can be? But that's why I love him. She put socks on that rooster. Lil bit would peck me into oblivion if I tried such a thing. He's like, don't you touch me with those. He's got a lot of attitude. But you know what? I love him, and I've learned so much about the principles from simply observing the 2 of them. Right? Anyhow, I love you. Okay. And I've been yakety yakking for a long time, but y'all still here. So sir, you cannot out holler me. I'm a mom. I know how to holler. And he does try, you know. Good old college try. Oh, you did? Oh, French vanilla. Oh. I like a sweet cream ice cream, actually. Sweet cream, girl. Let me stop. I don't even have any room in my freezer for ice cream right now. Um, Ain't nobody cooking me a dinner. Well, that's not true. My son made soup on that -29 day. So, yes, he makes dinner. Anyhow, look, let me go so I get to work on time. Y'all go so y'all get to work on time. And we have a great time today. Let's do that. You know why we're going to have a great time? Because the fact is, because we live by facts. We live by the facts. Yeah, baby. Peace out.